Welcome to Living Lotus Yoga Online. I'm Carole. Today we are going to explore the 100 exercise. This is a classic Mat Pilates exercise. Its purpose is to stabilize the upper body, strengthen your abdominal muscles, and also to warm the body and the lungs. And I want to show you a few modifications to not only make the 100 exercise more accessible, but also just to bring some variety to your classes. So to begin, we'll come into our classic version of the 100, and from there we'll start to break it down. So come on to constructive rest or onto your back. We'll make sure we've got a slight curve underneath the neck here and underneath the low back, and we'll bring our arms down by our sides. First thing you're going to do is draw your navel towards your spine, engage the core, and lift the feet up off of the mat so that now we've got our knees right above our hips. Shins, calves parallel to the ground. From here, we'll start to float our arms just slightly up off of the mat, palms down. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, you'll come into your curl. So upper back peels off of the mat. Begin to squeeze your thighs together, and then go ahead and extend the legs away from you, maintaining this curl. Little pumps to the arms. In for 5, out for 5. And we will be repeating that 10 times to bring us into the 100. But let's break it down a little bit, because that version of the 100 can be quite a lot. So the first thing we'll talk about, or we'll think about, is perhaps if we're experiencing any lower back pain at all, but we still want to be able to work and engage through the core, maintain that core engagement. For this, we're going to bring our feet about hip distance apart. We're going to press the feet down into the mat. Arms beside your body. Go ahead, float the arms again. Inhale, exhale, engage, and come into your little curl. And from here, just pump the arms. So we're not even going to lift the legs today. We're going to keep pressing the feet down into the mat. This is stabilizing the pelvis, and it's also protecting anything that could be going on in the low back right now. Come on down. Another variation we'll start to think about is coming into our 100 with lifted legs, but probably not extending them the full way just yet. So beginning, constructive rest once again. Feet come up off of the mat, knees over the hips. Squeeze the thighs together. This helps to stabilize our pelvis, but keep the legs bent. Keep them on 90 degree. Curl on up and pump the arms. Again, we're repeating this 10 times. In for 5, out for 5, brings us to 100. If we're looking to add a little bit more variety, or we're working towards maybe extending the legs, we can actually do a half and half. So maybe one leg extends, one leg stays bent. You could do this for your full circuit, or we could go for 50, switch it up, go for 50 on the other side. Just adding a little bit of variety, and also just accounting for whatever might be going on with the low back or through the hips. Another variation, which is especially good if you are experiencing any neck pain at all, or you're one of those people, which I know I was, tended to use their neck to curl up instead of the core. So a great way to make sure that the core is doing the lift and not the head is to bring the hands behind the head. Head is now heavy into the hands. We take a breath in and we curl up with the abs. Then you're going to add your little pulse right here. You can keep feet down. If you're working with extended legs, we can keep knees bent, or we can lengthen. Still finding that little pulse. And the last variation of the 100 we're going to explore is actually keeping our upper body grounded down onto the mat. So this is a modification you might like to consider if you're experiencing any doming through your abdominal wall when you start to bring your curl into play, or if you've got pelvic floor issues going on right now. We'll keep the head and the shoulders grounded down onto the mat, but we're going to float the arms just up above the ground. Now, as you do this, navel draws back into spine, so we're maintaining core engagement. We're maintaining that strength through the abdominals. The fingertips, they're reaching down towards your heels. The core's fully engaged here, and just with the breath, we can really start to work the core, pumping through the arms. We'll inhale. And then as we exhale, really focusing on drawing navel even further back towards spine, lifting up through pelvic floor. You can play with this. You can also bring the feet up off of the mat. That's going to engage the lower abs a little bit more. You can lengthen legs away from you. You can lengthen one leg or the other. There's lots of ways to explore Pilates 100 whilst keeping the head and the upper body grounded onto the mat. Still working and keeping core engagement. So that was a little exploration of the 100 exercise. I hope you enjoyed. I hope maybe you learned something new. And if there are any ways that you like to play with the 100, I'd love to hear it. So please comment on the video. Thanks for joining me.